If you're just joining us, I'm Quadry.
And I'm Jimmy. Disu. Good morning, everybody.
Alrighty. Together, we will be taking a look at the headlines. This morning, you can watch live on Facebook and YouTube. Facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM, YouTube.com/Nigeria Info FM, or just search for Nigeria Info 99.3 on the two platforms this morning. Feel free to join our conversation on Twitter as well at Nigeria Info FM. You can put in copy for your comment at Jimi Disu, hashtag Nigeria Info MCF on Twitter. Let's start this morning with the Punch newspaper, page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Lagos FCT Ondo move to stem new COVID-19 wave. Lagos FCT Ondo move to stem new COVID-19 wave. The Punch.
Yeah, thank you, Sheriff. Last week we kept stressing this, and if you watch international television, you know that it's a worldwide phenomenon. Okay, and so the story here says that Lagos and Abuja and Ondo State move to stem the new COVID-19 wave. I hope the other states will also do so likewise, because it's not confined to one area. Part of the story I'm seeing here is Lagos to step up enlightenment of motorists and so on and so forth, and they're going to set up enlightenment. But Ondo says that they're going to step up on enforcement, and that is what Lagos needs to do. The weak link in everything done in Lagos State, the weakest link, the rhetoric is nice, the ideas are okay. It is the enforcement that, that's where the problem lies. Look at any public transportation, nobody's wearing a mask. Go to some public areas, people are not wearing masks. The laws are there, the punishment is there. I'd like the commissioner to tell me, for example, who has been punished for not wearing a mask in public. But apart from that, we need to apply some self-discipline, and I don't think we will ever get tired of letting people know COVID is here. I saw some video in one platform I belong to. I saw a video with some guys sitting down at a party. Onilu, everybody enjoying themselves. Onilu too came around, full-grown adults in their 50s, 60s, almost 70s. And they were all marrying, drinking the green bottle, the brown bottle, the other
All
bottle
kinds
you
of
can,
color.
all kinds of bottle color. And I said to myself, where is this confidence coming from? Is there any form of kurube that can handle COVID? This thing is real. This is not a time to. It is true. This is not a time to have these parties. Right. It's not a time to attend functions. I was invited to a book launch the other day. Out of whatever I initially said yes, and then it suddenly occurred to me that look, you can't go to these places. Please be careful. Over the weekend, I was talking to some person, and she told me she was going to go for a wedding. When she had spent 6 hours in traffic and couldn't get anywhere, she went back. That is the one that Yorubas will say among Kotolon fishing. It turned out that all the people that she knew, the same group of friends who were at that party, all came down with COVID.
Oh my!
And they came down really. It's not as if they were asymptomatic or whatever. This thing is real. The government is overwhelmed. The government maybe don't want to frighten people by bringing out the real and true figures of what it's all about. But it is real.
So we need to take personal responsibility right now. That's what
we
we're
need to
talking
take. Please preserve your life. This is not a time. Preserve your life and the life of others. And it is very simple. By now, you should be used to it. It's like telling me to drive a car now without putting on the seatbelt. It comes, put on your mask. You can buy, there's some masks you can buy 10 for 1,000 naira. You can distribute them in all your cars or distribute them in all your pockets. Both right and left pockets alike.
Right. No, but you're right. Yeah. You're right. Actually.
Yes, and you don't even need, sometimes if you don't want to wear something, get handkerchiefs or one of your old shirts, tear it up. Just cover your nose and cover your mouth for yourself and for other people. Yeah. So we are pleading, what we're pleading, there's nothing to say about this story. The story is long and winding. The bottom line is, whilst, there's some vaccine now, I think it's the next story. Yeah. Whilst we tidy up, only God knows when the vaccine will get here. Preserve your life and the life of others. And for God's sake, if it is not necessary for you to go anywhere, please stay home.
Sadiq Olalao on Facebook says people still believe that COVID is Akoba, that once they take herbs, they'll be free of COVID.
It's a pity. We have terrible record keeping here. And the numbers that the government would have, as I don't know how large it is, it will not take care of those who have died of COVID. So many people who have died of COVID and have been ill and have gone to church, to Babalawo's house, have gone to drink agbo and this and that, but keep dying. The funny thing is, to bury people in Lagos is so expensive that I have a very funny feeling that some people are tipping people over without getting, once they die, just to go dispose of them somewhere. We need to be careful. Please, we need to be careful. There is no cure for now, and there's something like a vaccine, but you got to wait. Let's see how it goes.
Right.
But please preserve yourself and others. If I were you, if I'm in a bus, maybe get two. If you have somebody sitting on your right or left not wearing a mask, Mama, take this. You, Oga, take this one. Please put it on, and stuff like that. Let's apply some self-discipline.
Right.
But most important, sorry, Cherry, one last minute, is that the enforcement.
Very key. Very,
very key.
Let's move away from the Punch for a moment. We'll come back to the Punch. Let's pick up the Vanguard newspaper, page 29 of the Vanguard. Biden hails COVID-19 vaccine breakthrough as Pfizer targets 1.3 billion doses.
The good news overnight is that it appears as if Pfizer has finally produced some kind of vaccine. Okay, and the great news is that that its experimental vaccine was more than 90% effective. Now, what I read in some article somewhere is that 50 to 60% effective is just as good, but this one is 90%, which means it's given a 10% whatever for
margin.
Margin. Now the question is, when does it get to Nigeria? That is the big question that needs to be answered.
Now let me even ask you the question.
Yes.
Let me say the question that people are asking is, if it gets to Nigeria, will some people not hoard it?
Well, the first thing, let me tell you,
because I saw the question and it rang a bell. Like, I mean, I took that conversation to when Abuja Kaduna rail line was launched and people started hoarding tickets.
Nigerians will hoard. There's something in our DNA and in our brain. If you have, I
don't understand.
But if you have a country where rioters go to a psychiatric hospital or to an IDH,
yes,
and steal their bedsheets and pajamas, then you know there's something.
Disease hospital, infectious disease hospital.
And
you go there to go and carry bed,
bedsheet and pajamas. It get as it be. So, but the good thing is, in America, it's going to be free. And I am hoping the same will apply here. The government has to look for the money. Luckily, the company that produced the vaccine is also represented. They have a big office here. That's Pfizer.
True.
Okay. True. So we already have one leg in, kind of. What is left is for the government to do its part. What I expect the government to do now, very quickly, in a very proactive manner, is to head for Pfizer and say, look, how much of this can we grab? Now, the question is, when it does come here now, what happens? Our politicians will say we need to give the president, we need to give this. I don't know whether we are going to do a lottery. I don't know, because
to be able to have access.
We are a country of average 200 million.
Right.
At least 100 million, half of the population needs to be vaccinated minimum, and so you are talking about 100 million doses. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, but Pfizer is targeting 1.3 billion doses. My hope is that other companies will quickly pick up. And we might have alternatives. But in the meantime, let our governments let even the states be proactive.
I saw a picture. I'm not sure how true that picture is, of a state official in UAE who has been administered the COVID vaccine that the country manufactured themselves. And so we might not be relying on Pfizer alone to bring out this vaccine. Maybe other companies, I'm sure.
Yes, but at least, Pfizer is the first acknowledged one worldwide.
Right.
Like you rightly said, I am sure in 3 to whatever months, the formula would go around and other companies might produce. Right. But we need to be proactive.
Yes.
We need to be
We just have to.
and let's put the government on notice now that it has to be free. What might most likely happen is you might find some private sector people buying some and then saying that if you want to go and line up for the free one for days on end, but if you want us to, you understand.
Yeah.
It's like the COVID test itself.
It's almost like everything.
Yes, almost like everything. But I elite, I trust them. Someone would say, I have to fly to the US to go and get my COVID vaccine.
Did he just do that? Okay.
You remember the other day I was telling you that the problem of poverty in Nigeria is not with the poor.
Yeah.
It's more with
It's the mind.
It is the mind. It's more with some would go and take a first class flight all the way to go and get something. You could easily go to the Pfizer office in Ikoyi to get it. I don't trust anything in Nigeria. I've got to go to the United States.
Oh my goodness me.
I beg second base. Let's go on.
Let's take this comment off of Facebook. Olabanji Wasi on Facebook says COVID-19 is real. Here in Southeast Asia, that's Indonesia and Malaysia, Singapore, there is new conditional movement control. Educational institutions are being shut down again.
You know the good thing about these countries, Indonesia, China, when they say lockdown, heaven help you.
Yep.
I won't be surprised to hear that maybe in China it will be shoot at sight if you are seen on the road. We just have this lack of discipline. We have this lack of discipline, and we have to force our people to do these things. Right. And I'd like to plead with. I know things are tough for the Lagos State governor. I know the politics behind law enforcement and so on and so forth. But he has to find a way around it.
Yes, he has to.
He has to find a way around it. Trying to convince people that a country where some people voted for a gentleman just because part of his name was Good Luck. And they said that if we vote for this one, we self will get good luck. Then you know that you have a lot of work to do. Enforcement is key.
Right.
Public enlightenment maybe, but how can you enlighten a man? You keep telling them, do this to save your life, and they keep telling you, I better go sit down, COVID no deal, jare.
Right.
Waiting, no be maybe this.
So we have a lot of problems around this COVID thing, Jimmy. I'm sorry we're dragging too long, it's very important. It's very vital. Right from when we opened up our airports, the government said, look, if you're traveling out, you have to take COVID tests. You have to pay for COVID tests. Travelers are saying that other places in the world, these tests were conducted free of charge on travelers, and the result given to them. In Nigeria, you have to pay for it. Now, travelers are saying even when they pay for these things, they don't get tested on time. For instance, look at this comment from House of T-Babs on YouTube. House of T-Babs says, so why then is the country making it look like a scam? Got back from the UK 3 weeks ago, paid 50K at the airport for COVID test. Till now, I've not been tested. All they care about is the money.
The government is not making it look like a scam. I stand to correct him. It is a scam.
Oh.
It is not. Look, you go to YouTube and see one guy who bursts into tears. Everything you want to do in this country, somebody wants to benefit.
Yeah.
And because it's not that I want to correct him. He says it makes it look. It is not looking like a scam. It is a scam. There is a lot of undercurrent going on. Why can't the government test? Look, if you look at your ticket. The real value of your ticket, I think the last I checked must be about 45%. The rest are taxes.
Right.
Okay, which takes care of airport tax. Why can't the government find a way for you to do the COVID tests? After all, if you look at the volume of travelers vis-a-vis the danger to the country.
Right.
Okay, if you look at it from a very serious point that, look, rather than have all these things, let us just test people for the safety of our people. If you're going to add inch a little bit up on the cost of the ticket and recoup from there, so be it. But everything has become a racket. How are the labs chosen? You don't know. It's only favored labs, and the whole thing. There was a case, sorry to say this, let me quickly say, there was a case in the orthopedic hospital in Yaba some years back.
Okay.
Somebody fell and broke her arm. The young doctor there sent that person for an MRI scan for breaking an arm. Why? Because the facility where it's done, they give out, I think it's 40% to any doctor that sends a patient to them. This thing has been going on.
Orthopedic hospital.
Orthopedic hospital broke leg arm new. So I was there when the case was being it's been going on since then. It's been going on till now.
Yeah.
Nobody has been arrested. It's a racket that is going on.
It's not just orthopedic hospital. It's almost virtually in all public hospitals in Nigeria.
For the simplest thing,
they send you outside.
They send you, and this particular place,
maybe even at the opposite of the facility itself, you just see that one.
I said this facility is very notorious for such things. That's where everybody goes. I just don't want to mention their name, but it is notorious. Everybody in the health industry knows that this racket goes on. Nobody has done. We're a country of racketeers. Every opportunity that presents itself, we want to make money out of it. I hope, you know what just occurred to me?
What's that?
I hope that when we do get, maybe the president will say, okay, let us get 20 million doses of this, whatever. Then they will end up in the same warehouses where the COVID palliative.
That would be horrible.
Then you find Nigerians breaking into the place and injecting.
That would be horrible. Oh no, we don't want to see that. That would be disastrous, like disastrous.
Oh my God.
Oh my. Let's move on quickly now. Let's stay with the Vanguard newspaper for a bit. We have the Punch next after the Vanguard. Vanguard, page 5. NSAS, NBA, Falano, CSOs, SANs, flay FG's move to prosecute protesters. That's the story. Let me just look at the writers. FG trying to silence me by freezing my account, says NSAS activist. Everyone has right to protest, says UN. It's in your interest to keep peace, Buhari tells youth.
You see, the same government that acceded to the 5 requests, 5 for 5.
Right.
The same government that acknowledged that there was a right for these protesters to do what they did, are the same government that now see them as enemies of the state. I think it's rather unfortunate. Now, having said that, I concede that the security forces maybe have suddenly discovered that there's more than meets the eye in the answers. Yes, maybe. Right. If that is the case, then the gentleman who was on channels the other day, what's his name now? Musa, what's his name? Shehu Gaba Shehu. Yeah, the gentleman should have come out with some more information to tell us that, we recognize what these people were saying. We recognize their right to protest. But we have suddenly discovered that they were being sponsored by country ABC or interest ABC or whatever. And therefore, if that is the case, they will have to have their day in court. He just came out and said categorically that the organizers were going to be prosecuted according to what I saw in this story because they allowed it to be hijacked by hoodlums. And that is the most unfortunate statement and reaction we have gotten on this. The government needs to be careful. What has happened is over time, some hardliners have come into the fray. You could see the president's attitude in the speech that he gave when he said, because we are ceded to whatever, they took it as a sign of weakness. So what he's saying is that he's already regretting that action. And then somebody could have convinced the president to become a hardliner. Your Excellency, sir, it doesn't work that way. It won't work that way. Don't let some hardliners push you, to a very uncomfortable place. What those guys did, I don't know their intentions. I'm not part of them.
Right.
But the symbolism of what they did is a reflection of the minds of almost 90% of Nigerians. And it is important that the government takes note of these things. The question now is, it's 2 months or whatever since that has happened.
Right.
The only news we have gotten from the government that I have noticed is this idea to prosecute, chase close their accounts and so on and so forth. And I think it's impossible. It's unfortunate. Ozekome Mike says, if the government at the center is taking this kind of decision, then what happens to the various panels and commissions set up by the state government?
I asked a question yesterday myself.
So what was the point?
Why were you setting up panels of inquiry?
There's no need.
If you're going to, what's the point?
There's no need.
To what end? What do you intend to achieve with the panels of inquiry?
Look at what Falano says here. Falano says that during the NSAS protest, the federal government considered the fundamental right of Nigerian youth to protest peacefully. And he says the protests were generally peaceful, up to a point. Unfortunately, the police did not provide security for the protesters as required by the law, and then hoodlums took over the protests. Kayode Mogaji phoned in here sometime last week,
Right.
and what he said frightened me. He said that we will be surprised to know that the politicians didn't take that thing seriously. They don't see the symbolism in it. They don't see the danger in it. I saw it as a yellow card. Okay, and one more of that, we might not have a state to call our own. And already you can see the restlessness that is going on. The government should, if they do have to, because you must concede that sometimes government might have the need to. If they do have to, tell us now what it is all about.
Yeah.
Tell us what it is all about. And if they don't have any reason, they just want to be hardliners, the days of hardline government are over.
Someone raised a valid question yesterday and said some of those organizers were linked to Atiku Abubakar. So I asked the question, so Nigerians don't have the right anymore?
Well,
or is that a danger in itself to be linked to the opposition?
no, I don't think so. I think you need to look at as long as they are not linked to some organization outside Nigeria
Right.
who want to destabilize the country, or as long as they are not linked to an organization even within whose main purpose is to destabilize. But the issues they brought about are very clear. They are very clear. I don't think the issues are treasonable. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Even if you found that the opposition gave a lending hand to it, every Nigerian has the right to give a lending hand to it. Do you understand what I'm
Right.
saying? You can't
Right.
hold me responsible
Right.
if I want. If you couldn't hold somebody responsible for having 2 billion vans in his house, why should you hold me responsible for giving protesters money? It's a free world. What is good for the
You can move millions or even billions to some extent around during elections, but this is a problem.
Well, you don't know whether,
to
but
fund
to be honest
protests.
with you, we don't know whether it was a bullion van or a water tanker. I don't know. Maybe they came to supply this. Nigeria,
They came to supply these.
Nigeria is such a Gestapo because I tell you, Nigeria is such. But all said and done.
Yeah.
All said and done, the government needs to be careful. If there's any extraneous reason why you think this should be done, I don't think you should deny Nigerians the knowledge to explain to us, oh, this is why we are doing this.
Yeah.
And you understand. I think it is very, very important for them to come out in the open.
So maybe it's public security or what it is, national security.
It jolly well could be. Look, Sheriff, you've known me now for a while. I always talk about having an open mind.
Yeah.
About things, but it is the manner in which you go ahead with these things that matter. If there is any reason for you to before you even charge them to court, at the time you are doing all this, you should tell us up front that, look, this is what we have discovered, okay, and we are going to take them to court. Then people will jolly well understand.
Indeed. Let's take the Punch newspaper right now. Another protest looms if unemployment persists, says Lawan. This is from the Punch.
The Lawan is, in case you don't know, is the Senate president.
Right.
This is one National Assembly that I just keep forgetting even the name of this. It shows how dull it is. But the truth is, the solution lies with them. They should be the leaders. The legislature is they're the leaders of the people. They should set the first example and try to cut the gap between the have and the have-nots and the lower rung of whatever of society. They should set the examples, cutting their allowances, being less flamboyant. They should set the examples for others to follow, not just by rhetoric, not by we don't want any palliatives. I even consider palliatives insulting. I don't want the palliative. I want my dignity. I want to work and earn my day's pay that will take me home.
Right.
If I could work as a clerk. Do you know that I worked as a clerk before in the Ministry of Justice? Yes, and we were paid twice a month. We were paid
twice a month?
Yes, now we were paid middle of the month,
right.
And we were paid at the end of the month. And usually you wouldn't even know. They thought, Disu, where have you been? I said, what's happening? They're paying. The pay was regular.
Yeah.
The money was good. It had value. As a clerk.
Right.
I think clerk was level 4 or whatever. So some of us had bicycles. Some were living in one-room apartments in Oyingbo. They were not living in Mowe and all these places. They were living right at Alagomeji, right in town.
Yeah.
You understand? They could take an LMTS bus to work in dignity instead of these smoky downfalls.
Right.
That is what people want. People don't want palliatives. People shouldn't want palliatives. It's poverty that has moved us to accept what I would consider an anomaly.
Right.
Did you get what I'm saying?
I
So
agree with
the
you.
National Assembly should take the lead. They should take the lead in making life more comfortable for Nigerians.
Right. Right.
Do you understand?
I'm with
There are members from Rivers State, for example, who the governor used state funds to buy vehicles for. They should be prevailed upon to return the vehicles to him and tell him that, okay, this is how much this vehicle costs. Can you use it to build 2 or 3 health centers in my constituency? They need to do this. It's not rhetoric. It's not making page, what page is it? Page 9 of the newspapers or front page.
They can start practicing what they're
They
preaching.
start practicing what. No, they're not even preaching the right thing, but they should just do the right thing. If they don't know what to do, they should listen to radio. They should listen to Nigeria Info 99.3. They should listen to us at 7:30. Or no, they should listen to you at from 6. Let people hold your program. But honestly, I try to make these things light so that it's not too heavy on people.
Right.
But the truth is, they're not doing the right thing. And the president of the Senate says that he wants political office holders and policymakers against paying lip service to youth unemployment. Youth unemployment is not the only problem. The biggest problem is the imbalance.
Oh yeah.
If you have a balance in society, it will generate employment.
Yeah. Jimmy, it's been a very hot dailies today for Tuesday.
Have we finished?
Yes, we have.
We have to.
No, we have. We have finished.
Okay.
What's coming up at night?
Automatically, we'll continue.
You don't want to leave it.
I don't want to leave this. There's some other hot stories there. We'll continue. And
Okay.
luckily, I have my friend coming in today.
Okay.
Osa.
Okay.
I just told him to come ride with me.
Okay.
So Providence has said we have 1, 2, 3, 4 other stories.
Yeah,
I will continue.
that's
from
right.
there.
That's
to be
right.
continued.
Okay, so there you go. You have further conversations with Jimi, Disu, and Osa at 9 o'clock this morning, Lagos. Jimmy, thank you so much for coming.
God
on.
bless you, Sheriff.
You too. Let's go to a short break right now. When we return, we have more for you on the Crossfire. Stay here.